Boy, let's see what's going on where Arsenal's transfer news and rumours and all of that stuff is concerned. Smash the like button, people. Good afternoon / good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are. Now, again, I am not condemning or endorsing these ITKs because everyone can do all of that stuff, but Arsenal need players in it. So, yeah, apparently the talk today after beating Spurs, we don't really need to talk about them little games. Check out my match review pod me on my channel if you want my thoughts on that. North London's always going to be red. It's always going to be Arsenal's, right? But anyways, Arsenal in talks with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko. Told Arsenal want a loan with buy option. Leipzig want money up front or an obligation. Understand Arteta has spoken with Sesko on more than one occasion. Now, we've been aggressively linked with Sesko, but going back to the summer, based on what it said there, for me, I do think where Sesko's concerned, there's some tangible proof. The Athletic, the Ornsteins, they speak about Arteta speaking to Sesko, Arsenal wanting him. Now, obviously, we was prepared to pay his release clause, which has obviously gone up after his new deal in the summer. For whatever reason, isms and schisms, he stayed at the club. Why would we want a buy option? Because again, if it's only an option and we don't take it out, people, he could go somewhere else. And obviously, that does give us some room to maneuver. Obviously, you can bargain the price down and whatnot. If I'm Leipzig in this day and age where there's not too many strikers, like the striker market's on the floor. Obviously, they've got a young striker that's at a point wanted by Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. You saw his agent at all of these games last season, has been linked with Barcelona. And respectfully to Leipzig, they know their model. They get players, develop them, try and achieve things at the club and sell them on, potentially to the Premier League, right? So I'm not too sure if I believe that. Why would you not want an obligation, if I'm honest with you? If there is an opportunity to get it done mid-season, I'm all for that. I personally don't believe we're going to get Sesko in January, but I'd love to be proven wrong. Apparently, Gunner Blog, aka The Athletic, have said Benjamin Sesko remains of interest to Arsenal. His intention has been to finish the season with Leipzig, but the right proposition from the right club could see that position shift. If Arteta really has spoken to him, if he can see whatever you want about Arsenal, we have developed young players. You can see Saliba, Saka, Odegaard have all gone from strength to strength at a point. Gabriel as well. The attraction of the Premier League, respectfully to Kai Havertz, I'm not dissing him, but if I'm Sesko and I believe I'm one of the best strikers around and I believe I want to sign for Arsenal, Kai Havertz can play everywhere, but he's not a master of anything. I am a cold-hearted, blooded striker. I can finesse his plays. So if we've done the groundwork and it's the right proposition and we're willing to dot I's and cross T's and most importantly, put the money down, some of you on my live stream alerted me to the fact that for whatever reason, Josh Kroenke was at the Emirates. Mikel Arteta has kind of changed his language where transfers are concerned and it seems like they want to get things done. Bring the plan. If the plan was to bring him in the summer and there's an opportunity to do this, January, do it now and somewhat save your season. And then there's less to do in theory in the summer. For me, for Arsenal to go to the next level, we need a 9. We need another versatile wide player. Obviously, midfield, it's not signed, sealed and delivered, but Zubimendi, I think we need another midfielder. We need to sort out the goalkeeping situation. And I think we need more bodies in the squad, if I'm honest with you. And I wouldn't be against another defender. So it makes a lot of sense. Whether we're able to do that, I don't know. For me, it does come down to the release clause. I'm sure Leipzig would be open to negotiations. Whether Arsenal are prepared to put that money down, whatever Sesko's asking price is mid-season, as you know, is going to be another issue in itself, people. So we'll have to see. What do you lot make of Sesko? I mean, the dream would be Isaac. I'm on signing Sesko, and who doesn't like Gyökeres? Miguel Delaney said, allegedly, Mikel Arteta wants a physically imposing forward who can grow, with Benjamin Sesko classed as the ideal profile. Apparently, the Sun has said Arsenal want to sign a striker and are chasing Juventus's Vlahovic, Gyökeres, and Sesko. Now, these are 3 strikers, better yet. You throw in Isaac, apologies, were always linked with these players. So again, who's right, who's wrong, I don't know. It would be nice to have a striker, and he scored in his last 6 domestic games, and reportedly we're in talks to sign him, which I hope to be right, people. I mean, wrong in the sense that we sign him, people. Now we're still linked with Vlahovic. We know we wanted him in 2022. We know he's going through some contract issues, obviously, at Juventus at the moment. We know we need a striker or some attackers. So it makes sense to continuously be linked with him, people. Apparently, he's missed the last few games owing to injury and whatnot. Apparently, Juventus Juventus are open to selling Vlahovic, and they're open to letting him go this month, people, with along with an obligation to buy. Crucially, he's contracted until 2026, so there could be something there. He's apparently the highest paid player in Serie A on 12 million per season, and if he moves to the Premier League, I don't see why he won't earn that same salary or more, people. Juventus are not willing to continue paying him that much, given his underpar performances on the pitch and the club's new policy on lowering the wage ceiling. His agent played a blinder then, innit? If a new contract cannot be agreed soon, which seems unlikely, Juventus will have no option but to sell Vlahovic in one of the two transfer windows in 2025 to avoid losing him on a free transfer, obviously, in 2026. Arteta allegedly is a huge fan of the 24-year-old who he doesn't look it, but bloody hell, he's only 24. So there's a lot of scope to grow. Having failed to sign him in January 2022 when he left Fiorentina for Juventus for 80 million. Now, we'll never know the truth, because on one hand, it feels like he was always going to go to Juventus, and Arsenal at the time in 2022, in that January, was fighting a losing battle. Simultaneously, some fans probably don't want to go back in for Vlahovic because it's bruised egos, if we're honest. Like, you burnt us. As I always say, big up the women, but it's like me, or I put myself in these shoes. It's like, if I wanted to talk to a woman, I think she's pretty, we can have a future, you could be my girlfriend, etc., and she doesn't want that, and I say, all right, cool, it is what it is, I've moved on. If she now sees that actually I've made a mistake, I know some people not like this, but I rate myself too much. You had your chance, best of luck for the future, goodbye kind of thing. So I understand if people are like that, but is your ego, definitely not with women or men for some of you and the galley out there, are we cutting off our nose to spite our face? Because our very manager, Mikel Arteta, if you remember one year, he was offered the Arsenal job. He never took it, and he took it the next year. So who knows, people? Rejection could just be redirection, people. We've all been linked with another player who's from Norway, and obviously Arsenal have the best Norwegian in the league. Oh, Haaland's all right. Us and United are allegedly fighting to sign Sueve Napan, who's an 18-year-old midfielder. We have been linked with him before. David Ornstein previously has name dropped the Rosenborg player, people, as a player that interests Arsenal. He's not only interested in Arsenal, but Chelsea as well, AC Milan, Dortmund, Leipzig, who, you know, act as like a middle ground. You know, they get young players, train them up, and then sell them to the Premier League. So that's Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Dortmund, Leipzig, and AC Milan. Big clubs interested in it, people. So we'll have to see what is the price tag that they're asking for my man as well. 20 million. Fair. Oh no, that was Obi Mikel. Well, it doesn't say a price tag, but yeah, he's played 60 games, people. So he does have a base of development, but we'd have to probably be a bit patient with him. Is there any other news here? No, so we'll go on. 4 strikers Arsenal should try and sign to win the Premier League. Let's see this, man. It'll be a good laugh for you lot. Victor Osimhen, I wouldn't be against it. I'm not necessarily for it, but I wouldn't be against it, because, yeah, we've been linked with Vlahovic. Jonathan David's contract is running down, people. Jonathan Bakat of Mainz has 12 goals in the Bundesliga. I'd prefer Marmoush, people, but only 2 players currently in the Bundesliga are outscoring. So we'll have to see how. That's a new name, really. We're getting taken around the houses with Zubimendi, you know, David Ornstein, Romano, Sammy Motbell, the credible Arsenal journalist, the triple threat. They all said a few days ago that we're dotting I's and dotting I's, crossing T's, fine-tuning Zubimendi to sign for us in the summer, continuing that Arsenal and Sociedad link. Let me know your thoughts. I'd also love us to get their sporting director, Alabi, people. You have seen him linked with Bayern Munich, probably owing to Joshua Kimmich still not signing a new deal. Allegedly, this article said Arsenal have agreed personal terms with Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi, though Football Transfers understands there's still a slight sticking point that could yet block a deal for the Spain international. Allegedly, sources have indicated that Zubimendi has reached a 100% agreement with the Gunners over his wages, which will see the 25-year-old earn double his current salary at the La Liga side. Mikel Arteta's side are therefore prepared to pay him around 75,000 per week, which is decent. And obviously, with him on the best of days, because in my 29 years, I've seen Man United announce the signing of Aaron Ramsey. Sorry, where did he go? So until I see him holding shirts and all of that, I don't know. But on the other hand, added on to that, how many times does it look like Zubimendi's going to go Bayern Munich, going to go Arsenal, going to go Liverpool, or the next one, and then you see a U-turn? Obviously, you got the Spanish link up, not only the Spanish link up, but your region of Spain. Mikel Arteta, Moreno just came from your club. Odegaard's Norwegian, but he was there. You know, Spanish influence. Obviously, got your boy David Raya. I'm sure Mikel Arteta can entice you. The London aspect, the wages. You know, I do think there's a project to sell to him. You know, you and Declan Rice in midfield. I don't think we're the only ones, but you get the point. But until it's decided, I don't know. And yeah, big up his family. Apparently, he's an only child. And we know, you look at Sociedad, you look at Bilbao, them kind of clubs. On the best of days, footballers have an allegiance. Some homegrown footballers have an allegiance. For Arsenal, the closest probably be with Liverpool with Gerrard or Trent. But it does seem in Spain it's a bit different. I kind of think it's similar to Nico Williams. So we'll have to see, man, if I'm honest with you. Once again, allegedly, this is saying Arsenal have been dealt a major blow in their bid to sign Zubimendi, as Bayern Munich's advantage in hijacking the deal has been revealed. He's still actually being linked with Real Madrid. He was linked with Liverpool. Arsenal probably been linked with him for about 2 years. Owing to Rodri's injury, he was linked with City every now and again. Apparently, he's a long-term admirer. He's been courted by Mikel Arteta for over 12 months. We'd prefer to sign Zubimendi now, but would be happy to secure a summer deal. And apparently, we're even prepared to pay a bit more than his release clause to stagger the payments, people. The report allegedly says Bayern's advantage lies in its financial muscle and its solidity of its sporting project. The Bavarians can not only assume the clause without problems, but they can also offer Zubimendi the possibility of being part of one of the most successful teams in Europe with constant aspirations to win the Champions League, which is true. Martin Zubimendi's future seems to be moving further and further away from San Sebastian. The great unknown now is whether it will be Arsenal or Bayern Munich that manages to convince the player and reimburse the 60 million necessary to take one of the most promising midfielders in European football. Let me know where you are at that. Speaking of midfielders or wingback or inverted fullbacks, people, Romano has said Arsenal are preparing a new deal for Lewis Skelly to sign, and naturally the club are excited about his potential and his project. And yeah, he's 18. Get him on a 5-year deal. If I'm his agent, boy, I'm trying to get you 50 grand a week at least, if I'm honest. Big boy peas now. Now, we know Arsenal are not signing Mbeumo. Thomas Frank has said no chance of him leaving. We've been linked with Mbeumo for a while now. We've now today been linked with Visa of Brentford, people. We're being linked with Osman Diamande of Sport in Lisbon. Apparently, us and Newcastle are to fight with Bayern Munich for that. Personally, I don't really believe that. I do think Arsenal are interested in the 21-year-old. He was when he was in Denmark, but I can't see us spending 50 odd million on a defender. It'd probably be a Kivior, Tomiyasu kind of fee, if I'm honest. But what do I know? So yeah, Arsenal, Spurs, Man United, all still linked with Mbeumo. We do have scope to spend in January, and we're apparently within the remit of PSR. Whether we will spend is another thing. We've been linked with Marseille's Wahi, who did well against us for Lens last season. It hasn't worked out for him at Marseille. I wonder if there's a loan deal to be done if that's the case. Apparently, we've been offered Kingsley Coleman, but we're unsure it represents good value on his current costings, people. Tierney and Celtic are making progress, Romano says, over him returning to Scotland. Brentford have no plans to let Visa go, people. Apparently, Real Madrid have made contact with Saliba's entourage. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I do expect him to one day play for Real Madrid. Hopefully, he signs a new deal at Arsenal. He's important to us. We all know he talks about having to win trophies just because players want to win trophies and being recognized. I do think you go to Real Madrid one day, and I think we have to be braced for this. A part of me thinks naturally they're interested in you, naturally. And they think with 2 years left, maybe if we can start chatting to him, see what's going on there. But I also think you'd imagine away from bringing in players, getting players out, Saka, Gabriel, Saliba, 3 key players for our team. They all got 2 years left on their deal. There's a lot of work to be done, and it's around that period now where the talking has to start. There's a lot to do. And where's our sporting director? Because who at this moment in time, if they are talking in the back burners, because we hear it about Trossard, we hear about Ethan, we hear it about Lewis Skelly, who is even getting these things sorted? There's a lot to do. Apparently, Lewis Skelly could be set for a new role next season at Arsenal. I'd love to see him in midfield, man. The potential exits of Thomas Partey and Jorginho at Arsenal ahead of next season is set to open the door to Lewis Skelly to be handed opportunities in central midfield. We all know he's 18. We know he's been a revelation. We know he's done quite well. Apparently, he'll be handed more chances in his natural position next season. I mean, in the academy, he's played as a 6, doing his thing at left back. See no reason why he couldn't be the internal solution at the 8. Need to develop him. I'm ready to say he's better than Kobe Mainoo. I mean, I think we all know that's where Arsenal and United fans are going to go with that. The Mail said Martin Zubimendi is expected to arrive in the summer for 51 million to bolster Mikel Arteta's midfield options. Lewis Skelly is also in line to become one of Arsenal's midfield alternatives alongside Zubimendi, Rice, Moreno, and Odegaard, people. So we're going to have to see. Would you not give Partey a new deal if possible? Because I wouldn't be against keeping him for 1 year, people. Big up Willian, a former Arsenal player. He could be returning to the Premier League. Is that... Boy, I thought there would be a bit more in that regards. And Apparently, it's been 630 days since Arsenal last lost in the Premier League against the Big Six. So we're doing our thing. As I said, people, Bayern Munich maintain interest in Zubimendi. Allegedly, Arsenal are softening their stance on being prepared to spend the 100 million euros, which is about 80 odd million quid, on signing Gyökeres this month. But there's a lot of rumours, man. 1 minute we're being braced on signings in the summer. We're going to do this in the summer. We're going to do that. Zubimendi is apparently arriving in the summer. Now we're starting to hear Arteta's stance change on signings this month. Now we're prepared to allegedly go for Vlahovic this month, Sesko this month, Gyökeres this month. It is a bit of creative journalism, or as this journalist Liam Grace has said, essentially it's just gossip. So the dream is free, the hustle is sold separately, man. But I'd love to hear you lot's thoughts. Don't forget to leave a comment.
Like